Happy Wednesday. I'm excited today. This is probably one of my favorite topics that I get to talk about. And today, this evening, I'm going to be joined with a fellow health coach named Donna, and we're going to talk about generational biases and like we like to call bullshit around food specifically, because there's a lot of things that we hold on to from previous generations that we might not know about, and it might still be affecting us now and might be the reason why, we can't always make the changes in our diet, our lifestyle, in our life that we really want to, because we're sort of holding on to something that is no longer serving us. And so today, Donna and I are going to talk a little bit about what that could look like, what that could be showing up for you as, and, talk about some strategies to kind of overcome it and things like, and being able to let that go. And so I'm super, super excited about it. And just to give you a little bit of insight on Donna, helps women and men lose weight, specifically people who are over 40 who are struggling through menopause or, late stages in life. And she helps with fasting and holistic nutrition. Hi, Donna. So good for you to join. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I was giving a little bit of an intro, but I'm sure you could do a bit better. Um, and so I will let you take it over and to introduce yourself. I'll reintroduce myself and we can get started tonight.
Awesome. Okay. Well, hello, everybody. I am Donna Mintz. I'm a certified integrative health coach, and I help people break the cycle of calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I work with men and women over 40 to really try to get people to understand that what we were told, what my generation of this whole calories in, calories out thing, it doesn't work. That's not, your body is not a math equation. It is a chemistry lab. We need to start treating it that way.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I do.
I love it. And I mean, this is why you and I get along so well, is that we have very similar
Yeah.
viewpoints when it comes to specifically how our body works and the things that actually like impact us. I will again reintroduce myself. If those who don't know me, my name is Erica. I am a health coach as well. I work with men and women, specifically more so women, to help with hormone balances, weight loss, or chronic conditions. My background is in nursing, which is very fun because I get to use that little bit of Western and also sort of the Eastern, since I also do Reiki and NLP, which is neuro linguistics programming, and kind of wrap that all together to help clients progress through life and progress to the life that they want. And as Donna said so eloquently, like, it is totally not a math equation. It's way more psychosocial, way more how your brain feels, how your body reacts to that, how your body reacts will affect your brain, and sort of like trying to create just alignment. And I think that's what most people are looking for, is more of an alignment versus this like tunnel vision of what we used to think health is in general. So
Yep.
so let's get into it. I'm excited. Like let's start. I'm like, this is
Cool.
again one of my favorite topics to talk about because it's just so misunderstood.
Oh my God, yes. Um, and it's been misunderstood for
Yeah.
decades. And you and I connected, and we realized that we come to the same thing from different generations with different information. And I find that fascinating because my generation, it was all calories in, calories out. You had to you had to burn what you ate. You had to feel the burn. Jane Fonda told us we had to feel the burn and count every single calorie or macronutrient, whether it was fat or carbs. It really depended on the decade. But we never, oh, and the worst part of that is that if you were, the only way to be healthy was to be skinny. The skinnier
Yeah.
you were, the healthier you were, which is just mind blowing, like ridiculous. And I just kind of feel like my generation, all these so many years later, I mean, 40 and 50 years later, we're still dealing with that dogma that
Yeah.
was entrenched in us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that that's something so interesting to like start off of is like what our experience has been because I think interestingly, and this is kind of the part that I think why we say like generational trauma, but generational bias, honestly,
Right.
or trauma. I mean, like it could be both, like to be honest, it could be both. Um, it's so important to talk about specifically with food, specifically the way that we like think about our bodies, because as you say that like that was similar of experience to mine, and that's crazy to think that that's like it's a generation later or two generations later and that's still happening like that mindset is still happening. And I think my generation, for a lot of women that I speak to now and a lot of men, we're trying to break that. And I think that is such an interesting change. And like we talk about how generational trauma or generational biases sort of form as it gets passed down until and slowly
Mhm.
starts to kind of get watered out until it becomes done, and you kind of take the step and you're like, you know what, I'm not passing this and we're going to continue this way, and I'm going to do the work. I'm going to be the person that's going to like really dive into this so that way I can break it for my next generation or for my kids or for the kids that I am come in contact with. And so it's similar to you is like I also thought that like I also had so like I'm sure like different enemies. You had probably different enemies, but like I remember growing up and being like, carbs are bad, fat is bad, you know, skinny is nice. Like anytime someone was skinny and cute, they'd be like, oh my God, you look so beautiful. Like you look so good. And you're like, okay.
Yep.
And like it just it's something that just gets reinforced over and over again.
Yeah, but even now, so about 3 years ago, I was sick and I had gone from like 130 something pounds to like 117 pounds. I was emaciated and I
Yeah,
felt
it's a lot.
horrible. And people would turn to me and go, "You look so good. Look, you lost so much weight. You look so good." And I'm like, "No, like I am. This is unhealthy. Like I am
Yeah,
beyond unhealthy.
yeah,
Like this is, there's nothing good about this." So yeah, we just still again equate it to equate the two have nothing to do with each other. Your weight has nothing to do with your health.
yeah, yeah. You and I spoke about this, I think when we first decided to talk about this live, is I told you that I grew up to be like I was as a casual dancer, as a casual ballerina. Like I had all the things. I had point shoes. I loved it. It was so much fun. And like I like it was one of my favorite things to do. I probably danced like 4 days a week. Like that was it was my love for when I was growing up as a kid. And I remember to this day a specific dance teacher, like, and it's horrifying to say it out loud, but this dance teacher essentially told me that like if you were not a certain if you cannot fit between the ballet, so in ballet there'd be like these bars and there's a gap, right? There's like a little gap. He's like, if you can't fit between the gap, you are too big to become a ballerina professionally. And then told me that the best lunch or the best way to have like dinner is to have air dinner. So he'd be like, yeah, you just, you go like this and then you're full. And I was like 12. Like that's so inappropriate on so many levels.
Yeah,
But that's what people would like. That's not uncommon. And I think that's is horrifying.
yeah, I agree. That is horrifying. My I had somebody very close to me who would say to me, now, mind you, I was a size 2,
Yeah.
and she turned to me one day and she goes, honey, I think you need to start eating a little bit of cottage cheese. You're getting a little round in the rear. I was a size 2.
It's
What?
ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. And unfortunately, we carry that with us.
Yeah.
It's not something that we hear and let go, especially as girls, as teenagers. We're molded by those things that are said to us. And
Yeah.
it's it's sad. It's really sad. And we grow into women who are still stuck stuck in that, oh, now I'm a size whatever and my butt is round and Aunt whatever is not going to be happy and tell me I'm fat. I need to start eating cottage cheese. We carry that with us
Yeah.
forever. And it's just not, it's not right. It's not healthy. It's not fair. But we don't know that there is another way,
Yeah.
or that we should be asking better questions than what we already know, that we are so indoctrinated into this dogma so young that in our and when we're older we don't know that we're supposed to ask different questions because there may be a different way.
Yeah. And you think about women kind of how it happened. And I mean, I know that men also struggle with this.
Yeah,
Like I don't want to be naive in that, but
right.
I think for our conversation purposes, I'm using women because it's what I know. It's my own story. Specifically, I've talked to a lot more women about this than I have men, just because nature of women wanting to open up more up about it in my life. But it is really interesting because this kind of idea comes from, I think, like trying to like a lot of work that I do with clients is trying to like unpack what the belief is around certain foods. Like as we said, like I remember growing up and it being like fat free and no carbs. Like if you ate a carb, that was terrible. Like you shouldn't eat that. It's not good for your body. Your body can't digest it. It was like, and you grow up thinking this, and so there's still women that I work with now that still believe that carbs are like, I don't know, like the word, like the enemy number one. Like
Yeah.
I simply can't add a carb to my diet. I don't know what you're saying. Like I can't have it. And it's trying to retrain someone of like, no, like let's go back to the science. Like let's go back to like what a carb actually is, and like let's unpack also your emotional attachment to it because we really do it and it's from these previous like instances where someone in your life, someone close to you or someone you like looked up to was like, hey, carbs are terrible for you, don't eat them. If you eat them you'll turn into someone that no one likes, you'll get fat, and like everyone will hate you. And like that was like the belief. And it's crazy that like something as simple as like eating pasta can give someone so much anxiety
Yeah.
because that is like something that have held on to for years.
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of sad. um I don't even know. There's so much baggage to unpack around it. I still talk to women who are counting calories and carbs. And when I say to them that that nutrition label is basically
Yeah.
marketing and that
Yeah.
on the FDA website, it specifically states that these numbers are allowed to be 20% off. And they're like, oh, no, no, no. And I'm like, I will show you the website.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and they don't, I'm like, you're counting something that is wrong. You're going over with everything you eat. So why bother? Just
Yeah.
eat food. Eat food. It's
Yeah. And
great.
some I agree. Yeah, and like listen, like I think understanding a food label is one thing. Being
Right,
so hyper focused on the specific calories is something totally different.
right.
And like that that is something like I struggled with growing up. I think a lot of women struggled with
Mhm.
growing up of like trying to count, trying to understand, and like being like, okay, like, because less calories means that I would be skinnier and people will like me and I'll be more popular and all these like other random things that would
Yep.
come with association with it. And it's it's really hard, I think, for women. And it was really hard for me to, and it wasn't until I started to do this kind of work to actually understand that, like, if you give your body actual nutrition, like proteins and carbs and some fat, like
Yep.
good fat, you actually will inevitably not have as many calories in as calories you're burn. Like you will burn more calories than you'll be taking in because you'll be sustained and you won't actually be eating all the ancillary food that is like snacking and cravings and all that kind of stuff. Like it won't be there. So if you actually go back down to like the basics of like, what does our meal look like? Am I going to be full for the next 3 hours?
Right.
If that happens, like you actually don't even need to look at the like you'll naturally be like, oh, I'm full. I'm done. I'm good. I'm satisfied.
Real food, real food, protein, carbohydrates, healthy fats. Real food sustains the body. Your body knows what to do with it.
Yeah.
It will sustain you and keep you full and keep you satisfied. Unfortunately, sometimes we're just, again, we're so caught in this dogma that we don't know there's another way. I remember many, many, many years ago, I used to go food shopping with a friend of mine. Once or twice a month, we used to go food shopping together we were somewhere, I don't remember what this situation, but I would look at every ingredient label and nutrition facts, and if it had more than 5 grams of fat, I wouldn't eat it. And every time she would throw something in the basket, I would look at it and I'd be like, no, not for me. And she would get so angry, and it was my thing,
Yeah.
and I put that on her, which
Yeah.
is also a horrible thing to do.
Yeah.
But
But
sorry,
you didn't know. No, I was to say you
no, I
didn't
did
know any
not know.
better.
No, I did not know. So I've been a certified integrative health coach since 2003.
Yeah.
And I bought into the whole calories in, calories out, fat free. And I had a client once, one of my first clients who I had absolutely no business working with, who had PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome.
It's
And with
challenging.
that, yes, exactly. I had no business working with her. And that is all about
Yep.
insulin. And now I know insulin drives weight gain. So it made perfect sense that she was a little bit overweight and she just wanted to lose this weight. And I was caught in the calories in, calories out thing. The whole
Yeah.
system, hook, line, and sinker. I was there on a very high box with a bullhorn and a bullwhip. And
Yeah.
I told her to cut calories, cut calories, cut calories. And one day she turned to me and she said, Donna, I think I need to eat more. And I thought that was, I mean, I didn't say this, but I thought that was the stupidest thing I had ever heard. Because how could you eat more? You're supposed to eat less. Until this day, I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I wish I knew where she was. I wish I remembered her name.
Yeah.
This was 22 years ago. It's mortifying to me that I did this to her. I had no business working with somebody like that.
Yeah. But and I think that that's such an interesting point because we talked about like how do you break it? Like how is it different? How is it that we've kind of got so far and now people are just starting to kind of change their tune? And I think a lot of it is, you know, coming to terms with like you only knew what you knew when you knew
Right.
it. Like that kind of
Exactly.
is, and you can't go back. You can't do anything about it. You hope that, they learned or they figured it out or, somewhere else along the line, like kind of like nudge them in the right direction. But it's true. Like, I think you look back at the research and for a long time, there wasn't much research about it or the
Exactly.
research wasn't really well understood. And not only that, like even now, you barely sometimes even have women in research. Like as like subjects being researched. Like most of the time it wasn't women.
Right.
And our
Exactly.
bodies are very different than men.
Yeah.
And so like I think it's amazing how much more is coming out about it and how much more we're learning and how much more access that we have. And I think that that's something, at least for my generation, that I really value is that people are un unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not sure which way you want to put it, but like are doing their own research around
Right.
how this looks and like what it actually is, what it actually was like manifesting into. Like I'll be honest, like I think that probably I don't know, like probably 80% of my friends had some hint of an eating disorder
Mm.
at some point in their life that I knew. Like I probably could say 100%, but not, but I won't go that far. But I honestly joined a sorority when I was in college around and my drive to join it was that their philanthropy, or the place that they would donate to, was against and creating awareness around anorexia and eating disorders. And I was like, oh my gosh, like
Wow.
I identify as that. Like I've dealt with that. I know my friends have dealt with that. So like I would
Yeah.
love to be able to share my story to help other people to understand that A, they're not alone, and B, like there's other ways out of this hole. Because but that wasn't, I don't think that that was really like a voice probably when you were going to college or when it was all happening. Like I think it's happening more now, which is beautiful, but sad that it didn't happen then.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very, it is sad. Um, and I'm glad there are people, younger people, who are kind of breaking the cycle. Um, and while I see some change in women my age, we are very stuck. For so long, we were taking care of children, and we haven't been taking care of ourselves.
Yeah,
So we're in situations where we don't know what to do. We're in perimenopause or beyond. So our hormones, nobody ever talked to us about hormones
never.
or perimenopause or what it was or yeah. So there's so much confusion. So there's another layer of confusion around not just the weight loss, but the hormone
Yeah.
status. So we're a mess. And we're trying to get out of our own way. And I hope that I am part of that conversation.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with that. Like a lot of the women that I work with that are going through perimenopause or are in menopause or, postmenopausal, it is really challenging because you at that point it's trying to peel back a belief system that they've held for so long. And that is rooted in some deep self-worth. It's rooted usually in some, self-identity.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to change that. And, you know, it's possible, which is amazing. Like I think that's the most like it is possible, but it can be challenging and it can bring up a lot of baggage around your childhood or baggage around like people that you admire. And like I said, like I admired this like person that I went to dance school with, and like I thought he was a beautiful ballerina, and like I admired all of that. Like I wanted to be a ballet, like that was like I was like, oh, this would be so cool. But at the same time, it took me until I started becoming until I was a nurse to be like, oh, that was actually really messed up. Like, I'm actually terrified now for my kids, if I ever have them, to be a ballerina because, like, I don't know what happens in those studios. Like, it was a random thought that he said, and he probably didn't even think about it or didn't even think that he was doing anything wrong because, again, in society, most ballerinas were thin and, very skinny, and like, so he probably wasn't trying to do anything, but in the way that he did it at the age, you're just so susceptible to that. And so
Yeah.
I I think it's wild when it takes time to like sit there and think of like, okay, like what do I actually think about this food group? What do I actually think about, what people say to me when I look a certain way or dress a certain way? Like what does that mean to me? Like, and like that's the connection. Is like people can say things and they can say things all day long. Everyone's gonna have an opinion around you, but like what is that opinion actually going to do to you and your own self-worth or your own belief system? Like what are you attaching meaning to?
Right. And that becomes a huge problem that we don't, unfortunately, we don't let that go. It lives in us. We
Yeah.
take that through
Yeah.
forever. It's kind of sad.
And I don't know if you also feel this way, but I like right now also with the amount of information out there. I also think like we're swinging possibly in a equally as scary territory. And like, I think you know what I'm talking about when I'm like, there, there are people that I talk to in the health field that I'm like, oh boy, like I also feel very nervous about the way that you're talking to clients with because it is an all or nothing. And like, that is also territory. Like anytime you get into an all or nothing mindset of like, I must do this all the time. This is the only thing I can do. If it's not this way, like it's wrong. That also is like control in that sense is the root of many, many, many disorders when it comes to food and eating. And it
Well,
terrifies me.
that's orthorexia. It's
Yeah.
another form of anorexia.
Yep.
So, yeah, I did that too. I was one of those people. Everything had to be perfect, only organic. You know, if I couldn't pronounce it, I wouldn't eat it. I didn't eat a lot. I have a background as a chef. It's not that I eat a lot of processed food, but still, every once in a while, I don't want to cook. And reading labels and people thinking that these things are healthy, and following like it's got to be perfect. No, if it's got a little bit of sugar in it, eat it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah. Like,
while it's not what
sorry, go.
you do at one meal, it's what you do consistently.
Yeah. Whenever we talk, we always talk about like that 80-20 principle. Like
Yep,
80% of the time, what are you doing? If that 80% is meeting your health goals, great. You are on the right track. We are doing
yep,
fabulous. The
yep,
20% where you're like, you want to go out to dinner with your friends, you want to have a cocktail on a Saturday night, like if it suits your body and it's okay, like it's fine. Just stop
yep,
overthinking. The overthinking
yep.
is a killer. And there's so much research out there that shows that too. And so like,
Mhm.
I mean, it's just, and I think for people who are also in like the healthcare space, it's really abnormal to say that, like to let go of that. Like I don't
Yep,
eat everything organic because I
right,
simply don't have access or affordability to buy everything organic. I do my
right,
best, but it's also okay.
exactly, right.
I'll wash it.
Mhm.
Like I'll put a little vinegar on it with some soap. Like I'll wash it. It will do.
It'll be fine. I'll make it fine. Yeah, I, I always say I have never told a client you can't eat that, and people are shocked when I say that because I don't believe in good food and bad food. It's food, and and when it comes to food, number one, there's a lot of brain crap. But we also have this, we've also created communities around food.
Yeah.
So, and having community is one of the most important things. That's another form of nourishment beyond the food. So if you're going to go to dinner with your girlfriends call you and say, we're going somewhere that, and drinking and having crap food, just go. It's more
Yeah.
healthy to go than to sit home by yourself and be sad and lonely.
Yeah. I mean, loneliness is the number one killer in this
Yes.
day and age, to be honest. And I couldn't agree more. Food is food. And I think the important thing and the thing that I like to get through to clients is it's not the food. It doesn't matter. Just what does it make you feel afterwards? And
Yes.
are you willing to feel that way for that food? Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's fine. Like a night where I eat pizza with my friends, like I'm like, this is worth it because I'm
Yes.
laughing and I'm having a good time. And that also, the way you show up to eat also changes the way that you have nutrition. You could be eating the best food, the most pristine, but if you're stressed out,
Yes.
there's it's not gonna work.
No, you're not
You're not
digesting
doing
it
anything.
properly. Yeah. Yeah.
So like it's all of this and it's all like connected and people just need to I hope my hope is that people kind of can let go of the overthinking when it comes to food and kind of get back to the basics of like kind of like quiet out all of the noise that's happened before you. Try and quiet out the noise that is happening now and just be like, okay, how does this food help me or hurt me? How do I feel? Do I feel good? Do I have energy? Great.
Right. That's what it should be about.
Yeah.
That's what it should be about. Is it does what do I feel good? Does it give me energy? Does it keep me full?
Yep. It's
Yeah.
basic. It's
Yes.
hard. It's hard to get there, but it is basic.
It's very basic, but yes, it is very hard.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I I'll kind of like end, I think, because I know we're sort of gonna wrap up a bit, but kind of ending on the note of just like, I think, as you said, to me, nutrition and health and all this kind of stuff is goes way more than what we eat, and it is tied 1,000% into our belief systems.
Yes.
So I always tell clients, start there. Start thinking about, what you actually feel about food. What is your actual, like, what is that gut feeling? Because it's there. That little voice is there. We all know. We can't ignore it. And they're just rolling in the background. So like, what is that actually saying? And that will tell you so much more about how you're actually showing up to your meals than anything
Yeah.
else.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I have nothing to add to that.
um, but yeah, I think the best way we can kind of move forward is to start to do that and start to actually like, tune in, figure it out. And this is
Yes.
the opportunity. And the coolest thing is that we can break it. I think that is the most amazing thing is that if there's something that's not serving you, you can just let it go.
Yes. I agree. First thing we need to do is stop looking for answers on our cell phones on social media. Somebody told
As we do
me,
an Instagram live.
no, no, no. I just mean looking for,
I
these
agree.
quick fixes.
I agree. I was just being
Somebody
silly.
somebody told me the other day that they use Chat GPT to put together a diet plan for them.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah. So we have to stop outsourcing our health
Yeah.
to Chat GPT and TikTok.
Yeah.
Instagram's fine. Like this is fine.
Uh,
Do you find that people send you things from Instagram or from TikTok saying, I just read this and it's like the most ridiculous thing ever. Like if I somebody sent me something, I think it was like if I eat fruit, only fruit for a week. And I was like, don't do that.
don't do that. Yeah. Honestly, most of it comes from like family or friends being like, "Hey, I saw this. What do you think?" And I'm like, "No, no. Let me. I can give you several articles. Would you actually? I'll write a blog post about that. You'll see it next week. I'll debunk why that's wrong."
Right, exactly, exactly. I get it a lot. I get like the newest fat burner, the newest pill, the newest juice cleanse. These things are doing nothing good for your body.
Yeah.
So there is no quick fix. It's got to be a lifestyle.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. And on that note, Donna, do you want to tell everyone sort of if they want to catch up with you, what the best way to reach out to you is, sort of how to connect
Sure.
with you? I think that would be helpful.
Sure. So I am on Instagram at Donna J Wellness. My website is www.donnajwellness. You can connect with me there. You can connect with me here. Connect with me on Facebook, Donna J Wellness. But I do change it up on YouTube. I'm at Healthy Chef Donna on YouTube.
I, I love it. Do you do recipes on YouTube?
I'm starting to because I'm writing a book right now and I'm testing recipes. So
Oh,
yeah, I did what I'm still, listen, I did not grow up with social media and I'm not all that comfortable and I don't do it all that well. So be kind, everybody, when you go look. But I'm actually trying to make videos on the stuff that I'm cooking and testing and
oh, that's so
yeah.
exciting. I'm definitely checking that out. I'm so excited to see your journey
Cool.
with it. And let me know when your book is released. That'd be
Thank
so
you.
fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I can't believe
Um,
I'm an author.
that's incredible. That's huge.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you are
I'll
good
keep
at
you posted.
social media. Don't believe it.
Ah, so where
Um,
can people find you?
of course. I am here on Instagram. I have a website with a blog that I put out every other week or every week. I'm pretty good. Sometimes I skip a week depending upon my work schedule. But it's healthybyerica.com. It's also my email, healthybyerica with a K, at gmail.com. And that's the best way to find me. DM me, talk to me, email me. I don't care. I just like to chat. I'm a big yapper, is apparently what my family likes to say. I like to yap. So,
Sounds good. All
yeah.
right.
Well, thank you so much, Donna. This was fun. And, if anyone has any further questions, leave them in the comments. You can ask here, and maybe we'll get to talk about a part two.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right.
Well,
Sounds good.
have a good night.
Thank you. You as well.
Bye.